Well, I'd like to just start by thanking Bob and Brian for twisting my arm here and encouraging me to share with you guys how Men's Health magazine recently chose me as the healthiest man in America. Or as I just said, you know, why me? And you'll get to see some fun Star Trek slides and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing how 20 seconds you try to time it and go. So the idea came from a New York Times article where they had to ask Gallup to do a search to look for the happiest man in America. And the results were a Honolulu resident named Alvin Wong and age 69. So Men's Health said, hey, we're going to do our own hunt and we're going to look for the healthiest man in America. But we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're not going to do 5K times or some kind of a tournament. We're going to actually use statistical measures of health and demographics. And the big question is, would this demographically ideal individual actually be a healthy guy who drinks lots of beer at high-tech happy hour? So they had a whole list of criteria, starting with age. So the age range for this healthiest guy would be somewhere between 20 and 39. So, you know, much older than Bieber and a little bit younger than the most interesting man in the world. And like a week before, I had just turned 38. So, second, they were going to start by looking at Madison. Madison, Wisconsin was chosen by Men's Health as the best city for men in 2011 in categories of health, fitness, and quality of life. So they're like, okay, we know where to start. We're going to look in Madison. Next, they were going to look for a Jewish guy. According to, and this, all of the text comes directly from their article. But in this particular journal, it said that Jews have a life expectancy of 83 years. And you look at a couple of them right there, each born in 1931 and still going strong. So Men's Health contacted the Jewish Federation of Madison, sent them an email and said, hey, would you send this out to your members? We're going to have a list of criteria. And I got it and responded back, got in touch with Men's Health, and that's kind of where the dialogue started. Another bit of the criteria, it was skin color, and I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm a quarter Polish, a quarter Filipino, and half Russian. Does that make me white? I'm not sure, but here are a couple of the different reports and journals where they were just saying, okay, you know, Caucasians suffer less from obesity-related diseases and so on. Second, healthiest man in America has to be happily married. And I look at that picture and I go, gosh, my wife is still hot and I have no gray hair at all in that picture.
You look taller.
Do you notice how I'm standing on an angle with a rock? Okay. This guy is going to be a dad. He's going to have children. So this was a picture of my youngest boy, Bruce, and sandwiched in between is my oldest boy, Kyle. This was taken probably a couple years ago. So healthiest guy's gotta have children. Cigarette smoking was a no-no. So when I saw the list, I said, well, no, I don't do that either. And tobacco control said that you know, you live 9 years less depending on the number of puffs you take if you're a smoker. So that was one thing I could say, no, I don't smoke. Now here's a picture of my wife measuring me against the wall. And so what they were looking for was, this was the funniest part, for a guy about 5'7". And basically it says men standing at 6 feet or taller have twice as many blood clots. And it's kind of like a big dog, small dog thing. Small dogs live longer, and that's really the idea. Being right-handed was another health benefit. It said left-handedness is associated with decreased longevity and higher incidence of cardiac abnormalities. The funny thing is I have a client who's a radiologist, and I was like saying, have you read this study? Have you read this study? And he's 5'6½", Jewish, but too old for the thing there. Someone who is slim-waisted. Now that was what they said. Those with a waist circumference greater than 40.7 generated 85%, blah, 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 inpatient. So they were looking for someone who was relatively fit. And that was at a water park. A lot of comments, as you can imagine, online. The first one, what a lot of rubbish about religion, skin color, being right-handed, and having a wife. A former client of mine, about 12 down from Southern California, chimes in, I know Eric personally and trained with him for some time. He truly does lead a healthy lifestyle. Jealousy will get you nowhere fast. People are going, what does this have to do with anything? Well, for those of you who've watched the movie Up, Carl Fredricksen was voiced by Ed Asner, born 83 years old, Jewish, and I just love the picture because sometimes I feel like that at the end of the day. So what's come out of this? A guy named Landon Hall of the Orange County Register did a follow-up story. It was actually sent by a friend of mine who's a reporter in California, how a UCI grad became healthiest man in America, University of California, Irvine. So that was my connection. And it was actually a great article that he wrote. Next, Rob Starbuck came over so we could do some boxing training from Channel 3. Middleton man earns Healthiest Man in America title. And I think he was a great guy, very tall, a lot taller than me. And if you get a chance to meet him, he's really, really nice, very disarming. So what's next? As funny as this sounds, I've kind of joked around with people about this, but you know, this has really kind of encouraged me to put together a health and fitness book. I've been a personal trainer for 16 years. I have a lot of experience. And I was like, you know what? How about I put something together? And so I've been kind of working on an outline, and you know, we'll just look for someone to publish it. Last slide. My three favorite guys. Good health means good fun. Got to go with the Stooges.